What's up? What's up? Welcome. James Perlotta. Welcome. Dr. Larkin, how's it going? I think my screen is frozen. Hurry up and wait is something I did in the military. Not cool, but I'm interested. Plus, this channel doesn't disappoint. Hey, appreciate the kind words. Yeah, actually, what I want to do, I do want to get an overlay so I can kind of market my course. I know this channel is just a marketing channel now. But something that you can do in OBS is you can actually set up like a local running browser for overlays. And I wanted to do that real quick on this stream first before I start doing some more agentic coding. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna make a new directory over here. I'll just call it like stream overlays. Okay. And we may just work this directly in Cloud Code for right now. So I'm gonna go into the stream overlays. Load up Cloud Code. And I want to just go ahead and create, can you please set up a simple index HTML file which has some text on the bottom left of the browser, which I can use as a stream overlay in OBS. And it should say, please check out my course, agenticjumpstart.com. Let's try this out. Also add in a package JSON in Vite so I can actually run this locally on port 1337. Kick off both of those at the same time. And then we could probably go to that directory. All right, looks like it's already done. Did it even do the Vite stuff? Let me do an install, npm run dev, queue that one up too. All right, so now we go to localhost 1337, and please check out my course, agenticjumpstart.com. Okay. So now, hey, what's up, Leon? How's it going? Now I can go into, let me stop my preview real quick. How do I do an overlay? I know I've done this in the past. So you can go to sources. I think you can say, is it media overlay? Browse? I think it's browser actually. So I can do browser. We can call this overlays, custom overlays. And then we will just go ahead and say okay. And we can actually go to localhost 1337, width and height. I guess that doesn't really matter. Control audio, use custom frame rate. Yeah, I'll give it like the lowest FPS because honestly, there's nothing moving on this. I'm gonna click OK. And then we can see down here, we have an overlay. Pretty cool. Let's go and actually spruce this up a little bit. Can you make the agenticjumpstart.com text a different color? Probably a cyan. There we go. Now I got an overlay. And we might also, I'm just gonna use cursor real quick on this one. Actually, that's gonna be in the wrong directory. I could probably also say, change it to say, learn agentic coding at, and then the URL to keep it concise. All right, cool. That's good enough for me. Win video editor. I could work on that today too. Tried out Automaker yesterday, dude. It's sick. Hey, thanks. There's a lot of stuff we got to fix in it, and hopefully I can fix some of the things in the stream today. But the video editor, yeah, it's kind of buggy. I've been kind of working on it, trying to make it good. Got a YouTube Jumpstart course I could join. Yeah, I mean, I don't really know too much about streaming. Honestly, I'm just like, that's the bare minimum I have in OBS, is just making overlays. But technically, any website you can make, you can have it be an overlay on stream. So like you can actually do cool stuff. Got a stream status you can control via the MCP server. I can share if you want. Yours seems like it serves a different purpose though. Yeah, I just want a, this to show up at all times. I could even say marquise. Okay, let's do this. Can you also make it scroll by like, what's it called? Marquise? Isn't it called like something? I don't know. Let's just see what happens here. And it's cool because as I'm editing the code, I think it just updates automatically because I'm using Beat. Marque, I think that's what it's called. That's a good thing I like about LLMs is that like if you spell stuff wrong, it figures out what you're actually talking about. Yeah, look at that. Look at that slow roll. I need to increase the FPS though. Slow it down by half. And then I'm going to go to custom overlays and I'm going to make this 30 so it looks a little nicer. And then I'm going to make it full width. Is that tacky? It's a little tacky, right? Let's just check it out. When it gets to the end. When it gets to the end, can you just pause it for two minutes? When it gets to the end, can you pause it for a full minute and then let it scroll back through the stream? At this point, I'm just wasting my time. All right. AgenticJumpstart.com. That looks good. All right, let's go to Automaker. Let's actually try to test some stuff out. So one of the core contributors added a cursor CLI support. And I wanted to test that out because I tried it last night and my computer got up to 9 gigabytes of memory usage. I don't know if there's like a memory leak in it. We'll have to figure that out. Yeah, let's just go ahead and... What's going on here? Clear that out. I'm going to close this one. I'm going to say npm run dev. Now, one thing I want to do here is when I run npm run dev, I want you to add a third option to run the Docker container setup. So that would be option number 3. Take that one off, and then I'm going to run it in Electron, and we can kind of play around with this app. By the way, let me give Leon a shout out. Hold on a second. If you guys are interested in learning about Claude Code and other AI-related things like N8N, go check out Leon. I watch his channel primarily for AI stuff right now, so go check him out. He was in the stream, so I'm going to give him a shout out. But honestly, it would be better to have it under the camera at all time with nice GIF image, etc. Oh, it scrolled back the other way. That's cool. That's not what I prompted it to do, but... Yeah, I think he's just taking a little break. I think he's just taking a little break for right now. Making content's hard, man. It's like... It really burn you out making content all the time. Yeah, this ad... Okay, this is kind of annoying, this Marquise. Let me go back and change that. Make the text 4 pixels smaller, and then it seems to scroll back from the left. I always want it to just scroll from right side of the page to the left side of the page, and then wait a minute before it scrolls again. Anyway, let's go to Automaker. Let's see what's going on over here. What's this one doing? I can see the current dev script just runs vite port 1330 directly. Am I in the wrong directory? Oh, I am. Bear with me. What was my last prompt? Okay, so in the npm, when I do an npm run dev, can you add a third option, option number 3, which will load up the application in a Docker container? We already have a npm's alias called npm run dev : Docker. I want you to run that from the bash script. Did they press 3? Did they press 3? Okay, we'll see if it kind of gets this going, but. All right, let's see. Have you tried using Claude Code in the Zed? I have not used Zed yet. There's like 1,000,001 AI coding tools at this point. Honestly, just stick to one. They're all basically the same. I think some of them do have their own like little niceties, and I just don't have the time to try all this stuff. So I basically learn my tooling by word of mouth now. So if I have a developer I believe in and I trust and they're using a tool, I'll go try it out maybe. Don't you feel eventually AI will get so good that I won't even be able to catch up? I mean, if you need to be a senior software engineer to get a job now, what would happen when I'm 2 years into coding? Yeah, I'm not really sure.
Option to npm script.
Yeah, that's right. My agents talk to me when they finish. What is this voice to text app called? It's called Super Whisper. Maybe at times you should also say something and get hands on auth tab autocomplete or whatever just for the fun of it. I'm not sure what you just said there. How long? The $20 Claude subscription does not last long. It really doesn't. Thanks for the shout out. Tons of new CC content coming this week. Oh, that's awesome. Probably cooking. He's the best agentic coder ever. Create an AI clone of yourself and let it make the video. How much are you spending on Claude Cursor a month? I had the $100 a month plan for Claude. Cursor, I have the $20 a month plan and I have like on demand. But I do have some free credits from Cursor that kind of hooked me up, so. But I think when I'm going, hard to say, I think I'm like 100 in Cursor right now, but they're covered. One of these companies starts paying you, man. You've been busting your butt on this for the longest, plus you keep it real and follow your best practices. Hope one of these companies, you mean like the AI companies? I wouldn't mind making like doing like a sponsorship deal with one of these AI companies. But I've already reached out the Cursor and they don't seem like they do sponsorship type of things from what I've seen. Isn't it an overkill using Opus 4.5 for these very basic overlay CSS manipulation stuff? Maybe. I don't know. I went back to VS Code, full Claude. Not much. I do 8 to 9 prompts and gotta wait for like 4 hours with Pro version. Zed is nice though. What is the way that you tackle from Figma to code? I don't really use Figma too much. I mean, I take a screenshot of the design and I'll throw it into Claude Code or throw it into Gemini 3 Pro. What's the difference between AutoClaude and Automaker? They're very similar tools. I think we're approaching the same problem from a different angle. I think AutoClaude has like a memory layer and it has some other cool things in it. Honestly, we're just building a tool for fun, right? I think at first there was like some friendly competition going between our two tools, but at this point, I kind of just zoned his stuff out. Like, I wish him the best. I hope he makes a really cool tool. But at the same time, I'm just trying to focus on Automaker and making it really cool. What's up, Super Combo? Yeah, welcome back. Hope you had a good vacation. Have you tried the Figma MCP? I have not. With what software are you doing the recording face cam? OBS. Best model always. I have the max subscription. I'm never going back. Yeah, it's good stuff. Claude does sponsorships. Yeah, maybe I could reach out and just, I mean, I use their tools all the time, so it'd be kind of like 2 birds, 1 stone type of thing, you know? When I press 3, it should load it up in Docker. Yeah, so Super Combo, I'm just testing out the Cursor CLI branch, but I did want to add in a third option Right now, we can only run the web app and the Docker application. I added a third Docker container, so I want to see if this will actually work. I haven't run this in a couple days, so I don't know if the Docker stuff is even working at this point. It does use a lot of context. I think I'm missing some stuff in my... There's no Docker ignore. That's probably the issue. We should probably be removing the node modules here. Like, we don't need to send over all the node modules. We probably don't need to send over GitHub. Well, actually, we might have to. Husky apps. Let me stop this. I'm going to rerun this and see if it still sends over that stuff. That's a lot of context. So as it's running through its stuff, I noticed that it said like transferring context, 2.43 gigabytes. So every time I build a Docker container, it's literally copying over all my node modules into the container. And that doesn't really even make sense because the container is probably running on like Linux. I'm in Mac OS, so like there might be incompatibility issues if you're doing like a Node GYP type of thing. So let's run it again. Okay, that context was much smaller. I think that was like 2 megabytes. I think it just removed the logs for that, but... Okay, it's doing npm install now, I believe. No, it's doing a packages. Okay, npm package. Here's the npm install. Okay, so now we can test it out. Oh, a little bit broken. Has he back merged main into his branch? Maybe he hasn't done that yet. Oh no, the Docker crash. I think my Docker crashed. I only have 2.6. You know what? I'm not going to do this on the stream because I'm going to run out of memory on my machine. Run out of disk space. So I'm just going to go ahead and like add this to a branch. I'll come back later and try to get it going. All right, back to cursor. I want to test this out on a stream. Oh, let me turn on some music too. Okay, so the cool thing that Sharon added was basically we can go and add in cursor CLI support. So if you go over to AI providers, there's a cursor option now. And it basically checks to make sure you have the cursor CLI installed and you're authenticated. And now you have access to all these models, which is nice because there are some models that work a little bit better for different problems instead of just using Opus 4.5 for everything. And we could probably try to kick off some stuff. So we have a project called LoopForge, which I'm going to open up in Cursor real quick. We could try to run this. This thing's probably broken. Let me fix this, hold on. All right. I'll make a new one. Can you try to figure out why the application won't run when I say npm run dev? Continue to try to run it until you get it working. Go ahead and kick this one off. I'm going to say, let's use the model composer. So I'm testing out to see if we'll get some output. And then also I wanted to test memory leaks because this thing was really using up a lot of memory last time I ran it. What is 2076? That's clog code, isn't it? I think that's clog code. Yeah. I could close that. I'm not even using clog code right now, so why is it There we go. What is all this app config stuff? Installing the correct version, React Start plugin version. I think we could probably add an MCP over here. I don't know if I have Context 7 installed, so I'm going to go and find that. First for settings, MCP. Where's my MCP tools? Let's go and look at this. Failed to save MCP server to disk. What happened here? Is this broken? Well, I guess we can try to fix that. I tried to add the following MCP server to hook up with Context 7, and I got this error. Probably go get some more context too. Like, where is it failing? There's really no errors in the console, so I'm actually going to restart this dev electron debug. Okay, now it worked. Okay, I don't know what happened there, but it's working fine. It's interesting. Hey, I fixed it. That's cool. Automaker fixed my bug. So we should be able to load it up now. Another little bug here. I'm going to go and default it to Composer 1 real quick. I really just want to test out Composer 1. So, providers, default models, not auto. I want Composer 1. Is there a way to default it? I'm up to date. Feature enhancement, file descriptors, image description, quick task feature enhancement. GitHub issue validation, app specification, feature generate, create features from specifications, backlog planning. Model for feature refactoring. Let me switch this. Let's go to cursor, composer 1. Let's see if that's how you can default it. No. I'm using Clack app for the sounds. What's up, Jesse Pinkman? How's it going? Does Automaker always generate plans for what it's doing? What do you mean by that? Was Automaker created using only the workflows you teach in your course? Yeah, I mean, I'm doing the exact same stuff I do in my course with Cursor and Claude Code. It's the exact same stuff. Yeah, but I would say doing agentic coding, it's not about like, okay, here's exactly how you do it. It's about knowing all the different ways you can kick off a prompt, when you should plan, when you should choose one model over the next. It's not just like, here's a bullet point list and you're going to be able to rebuild Automaker like from scratch. It's a lot of just knowing, okay, I feel like this feature I'm going to add in, I feel like Opus is going to be a much better choice. I feel like this bug I'm hitting, Composer 1 might be able to knock it out much faster. But yeah, all the same techniques I do in my day-to-day, like that's what I talk about in my course. Hey, I've watched your recent videos. How would you go about making an agent that specifically goes through a website to check for bugs and creates a bug report as opposed to an application? As opposed to an application. I mean, you could hook up the Playwright MCP and have it, you can tell Claude Code, hey, go open up this website, click through buttons, generate a bug report. I think I actually have a whole segment in my course about that. But yeah, the Playwright MCP would be pretty good. Honestly, I would say you should be writing tests. You should have end-to-end tests that kind of go through your application. Because the Playwright MCP is pretty slow, so you're going to kick this thing off and like it's going to take a long time to go and click through your UI. So I think having the actual like plan of attack of what routes, what features, what you want to test, so you can get a better like bug report. Have I tried Zed? I have not. Nope. I have a similar problem with agentic coding. Sometimes I feel like I miss some context and I'm not sure if something is implemented or not before I knew where is everything at a time. I'm not sure I understand your question. Like you don't understand how the code's evolving. After you implement a feature, you can go and kick it off into an agent to like have it explain to you, give you a great breakdown of like what changed, generate diagrams for you. So if you feel like you're not understanding the code that it's generating, like that's, in my opinion, just some additional training that you need to let the agents teach you what it changed. What's your planning script? Is it open source? No, I just use like Claude Code plan mode or Cursor's plan mode. Honestly, those work great. There are Claude skills you can get set up. Like I think I just set one up called Superpowers, which does like a super thorough review when you're trying to plan out, but I ended up removing it because it's just like, it just doesn't fit my workflow. I think every developer has their own approach to how they're going to do agentic coding. And I have a very like iterative, rapidly prototype, get it out there. And then I come back through and I do small iterations constantly until I like the feature and it's fully done. But I think on a larger project, you probably end up doing like more like spec-driven development with actual documentation and then kick that off into a giant plan. It's just different projects, different requirements, different scale, you know? Is a memory/context layer like Droid has planned for Automaker? I'd have to go and research that. I have nothing. I don't know much about a memory layer. We do have some built-in ways to add context files, and then we have like, you know, the top level descriptors of those files that get automatically injected into your agent's runtime so that it can know and grab, what's it called? Like a progressive disclosure. It can go and grab the full context file if it has some information that'd be useful. I have not tested it yet. Just the code is open to contribute for this. Any good YouTube channel book recommendation for learning design pattern system design? The Gang of Four book is probably the best one that's in the industry. Honestly, all you need is a list. get a list of design patterns and then chat with an LLM for every single one. And then tell it, hey, generate code examples in your language. So if you like to code in Python, say, hey, generate an adapter pattern and walk me through how it works in Python. I would not recommend getting a book. You have these tools that can literally like spoon feed you information and teach you. And you can go to Wikipedia. There's a Wikipedia page that has all the software design patterns. Go through every single one and then just ask an LM to like teach it to you. Since you're live, I have a work in progress memory system in the works. If you want to test it, there's a PR for it. Looks like the link is deleting the message. Yeah, I can go check that out in a bit. I just really want to get this cursor thing in. I think he has like over like 100 and something file changes, and we need to get this in before it just like has tons of conflicts. You could also use Test Sprite. It uses Playwright to click around, completely autonomous, and gives you a full bag report on how to fix it. Okay. I would love to collaborate with you, though. If you are down for that, we can make something together. I have it posted on YouTube. Skyrocketing Tech. Oh, are you a YouTuber? Let me check out your channel. Hold on. Hey, go check out Skyrocketing Tech. Looks like he's also a YouTuber. He's got 6 videos so far. Building an FX clone in 25 minutes using React Python test sprite. Oh, cool. What would be a good resource to learn PHP from? Chatting with an LLM. What are your thoughts on GitHub Copilot? I don't use it. I haven't used it since like these new tools came out. I've seen a third clone of Automaker AutoClone. It's called Vibe, Kanban, multiple free solutions. There's really so many. There is really no money in creating another clone. There's no money. I mean, it's not always about the money, right? It's about building something with a community. Building a tool that you think is useful. I mean, there's like, what, 10 different websites you can use to send marketing emails? Probably more than that. It's probably like 50 different SaaS companies you can use for sending marketing emails. It's not about building the product now, because you can literally clone someone else's product if you get good at agentic coding. I think it's more about marketing and convincing people to use your product over others. Yeah, you could. Do you have a channel too? Francis Odo? What's up, Nicola? Anyway, let's go back to... sometimes I have too many projects going on at the same time. So this one is failing because of this, which I think I just reran. So we could test this out. Wait, I need to figure out how to default these things. Alright, so let me show you a technique I like to do. Do I have Automaker open? Yeah. Composer 1. Is there a particular setting or route I can go to? I want to default the model used for all new Kanban feature items. What page is that on, if we even have it? Apply on the settings / models. The phase model section. Hey, look at that. Let's see. Go to settings, feature defaults, Flask icon in the sidebar. In the default AI profile section, select an AI profile from the dropdown. Now, new features will use that profile model. There's no profile selected. The default is Opus. Phase models. Okay, that's where I'm at. Which one is he saying? The default AI profile section. Select an AI profile from the dropdown. I think it's hallucinating. I don't see a default AI profile. Oh, feature defaults. Is that what it is? Feature defaults. Sorry, this is a feature enhancements. Yeah, I don't see that. These are the options I see. Oh my gosh, no. Alright, this is a new feature I haven't worked on. Sharon worked on this. He's a core contributor and he wanted me to test it out. I don't know how it works. I know there's a page where you can change defaults. You're in the phase mode section, which controls models for different task types. Okay. Not the default model for new Kanban features. Go to the default model in the... What? Oh, hold on. It's down here? Okay, that's kind of confusing. I think there should be one page for all model configurations. All the AI in the world will not help you build a better product. You have to know what you're actually building, and you have to have some good taste in your product. It looks like I have to make a default AI profile. That's kind of gross. So I have to make a new default AI profile so that I can actually select Composer 1 as my default. Yeah, I'll send him a message about that. I don't like that experience. That's kind of crazy. But I think I can go to AI providers. Bro, I don't even know how my own app works. There's too many features. I don't even know anymore. Do I have to go and make a profile here? AI profiles. Oh, it's in a separate thing. So I would say that we should move AI profiles to settings because now we have this. That is technically not a project setting, I don't think. I think it's like a global setting. I could try it out. I'm gonna go say Composer, Cursor 1, Composer 1. Just say Lightning Bolt, create the profile. If I switch projects, yeah, this is like global. This needs to be moved into settings, I think. So I'm actually gonna load up Discord real quick. Make some notes about this. Sorry, I'm just like typing my message. For the AI profiles option on the left, I think we should consolidate all the model selection stuff into a single page in the settings. These models. I find it kind of confusing that we have like different places that we just set these configuration defaults. Can we consolidate everything into a single like model options inside of the settings? Okay, anyway, I figured it out now. So you have to go, you make an AI profile, you can select Composer 1, Also, there's no way to select Composer 1. Like, I'm doing a stream right now. If you were to go and watch my stream, I'm trying to set the default model used for the Kanban cards. And I went to the settings and I tried to find it. I couldn't find the option. And then I didn't realize I had to go create a custom AI profile and then select Composer 1. I feel like it's very complicated. Interesting. Automaker is the tool to build out other applications. Yeah, you can do tutorials on it. That's fine. Man, let's see. What's up, Sharon? Yeah, so since you're watching, let me show you. So I was trying to just basically, I want to set all my Kanban cards to be Composer 1 so I can test it. And the only way I could do that was I had to go and create like an AI profile model. And if you watch the stream, I like spent 5 minutes going through and asking Composer 1 to tell me where I can configure this. And I went to settings and I went to phase models. And my first instinct was it would be here. And then I like looked through all these and I couldn't figure out how to set the Kanban card to be Composer 1. And then it told me, okay, I need to go and make an AI profile. I need to select Composer 1 and then I can use it. I don't know, maybe we could re-evaluate how we're doing that and just remove AI profiles from the left. Because I feel like this is a global setting. As I switch projects, these are global, right? I'm thinking everything on the left side navigation bar should be like project specific configuration. If it's global, it should probably live in settings. And then we should have one that's called like, I would rename phase models because I don't know what that even means. Like, I don't know what phase means. I would just call it model defaults. And then this has everything that you could ever configure inside of this. So for Kanban, for the items, that's my suggestion. I don't know. It was kind of confusing. Trying to figure out how to even set Composer 1 to all these cards. But yeah, I'm going through your branch right now trying to test it out. Before they were in the feature default tab. Probably forgot to move them there as well. Yeah, I don't know. Just a consolidated place, like one page that all the model defaults can be set. And I would rename phase models to something else. I have no idea what phase even means. Like, I would just say model defaults. Let's see, for video clipping project, why didn't you use Media Bunny? It handles encoding and exporting on the browser itself. You can do trims as well. Because I'm having fun building it from scratch, honestly. Is Media Bunny like a third-party library, or is it like a service? Does it work with GLM coding plan? I would maybe do it then. I think there's some pull requests to support GLM, but we're trying to focus on adding in cursor support. Well, not me, not us. Sharon is. He's the one who's like leading that effort. He's doing a great job doing it. And so what I'm doing is trying to like kick off some random tasks to see if I can push it to the limit and see what happens. So I have another one called Loop Forge. I'm trying to make like a Free Loops clone or Ableton Live type of clone. And I'm just basically using Automaker to get that going. Now that, yeah, I still have to go and click on Composer 1. Yeah, another thing I think we should do, I think I mentioned this in the chat. I think the model select should just be right here. Like, there should just be a model select so I can quickly like type in my description and then I can pick what model I want. Those are the two main things that I think a user would want. Type in your description and then it has the default model that you've configured in the settings and maybe even a link that takes you to the settings page. But then I can change the model on the fly directly here, having to go and click on this tab. And then this is just overwhelming. Like there's a lot going on here. Like just having models, like we could have Opus Ultra could be a model that's just like right there that we can select instead of having to like look at all these different buttons. Because now it's like, I just want these to be Composer 1. I don't know how to even set that. I have to go to here, feature defaults. select composer 1. Sorry, I'm not, I just think like now that I'm using the app more, I'm starting to realize, okay, there's like different stuff that we have to. Yeah, that didn't even do it. I went to settings, I went to feature defaults, I select composer 1, and now when I go back to Kanban and I create an item, it's still selecting Claude Opus. So that's a bug, Sharon. I set the default profile to composer 1, but when the app loads, like it doesn't select it. Or you could just ship it. We could ship it and I can come back through and just refactor this. I'm going to consolidate all this into a single modal instead of having all these tabs and stuff. I think it's just, it's a little overwhelming. We can just reuse the model selector. Yeah, I think that would be awesome. I think the one thing I've learned from UX is reduce the amount of time someone has to click. And then also when we make a feature or a modal, what are the top 3 things a user needs to do? And that should be like the first thing that's automatically focused. If you click tab, that should go to the next most important thing. And the most important thing for creating features is the description and the model. The title's not that important in my opinion. Maybe the thinking mode's kind of important, but that could be kind of coupled into the model. All right, cannot unknown utility class are using CSS modules. Okay, we might not have to use Composer for this one. All right, let's test out if I go back here to refine. Let's just do a Claude Opus this time. Oh, it's super laggy typing into that. Okay, Electron is now at 2 gigabytes, so there's definitely a memory leak still going on here. And when I type into this, it's like super laggy. But I don't know if that's related to the composer changes or not. Probably not. Yeah, I've seen AutoClaude. Yeah, me and the I think his name's Andre worked on AutoClaude. Like he started AutoClaude around the same time I started Automaker. So they're very similar, but they're different as well. Does it use Claude code underneath for authentication instead of Claude model API? It uses the Claude agent SDK. Just get rid of Electron. Web interface is enough. No. Yeah, that's something that we talked about, but... Well, the issue is, I don't think the issue is Electron. People keep blaming Electron. I think it's these models. Like, the tool is calling into the Claude Code Agent SDK. It's also calling in the cursor when it's doing its stuff. And I think these CLI tools are like eating up the memory. Or there's like some disconnect where like memory is not getting freed up. So that's something we're going to have to look into. But yeah, I mean, doing a whole rewrite in another language, like, let's be realistic. Like, I don't think it's going to happen. But I might have to kick it over to the web mode so I can actually do like a React debugger to figure out what's causing it to slow down when I type into the input box. Because that's crazy. Almost 3 gigabytes for literally all it's doing is just generating markdown files and like sending commands to an agent. Electron is overhated. I'm gonna say it. Yeah, people complain, like people are like, oh, Electron uses a bunch of memory. Bro, it uses 600 megabytes. Everyone's computer has like 16 gigabytes. It's like people are upset that Electron uses like 600 versus like, okay, if I built it in Rust or something and had an actual like native app, maybe it would use like 20 megabytes of memory. But I guarantee you're not gonna be able to build an application with this many features that fast if you're using like something like Rust. Yeah, I'm using Super Whisper. I'm not using the Pro, I'm just using the free Super Whisper. Do you use any MD files for the agent? I use GitHub Copilot, but I want to accelerate me. It's a skill issue. I see your course, but I want to keep my learning cheap. As a student, you suggest any docs? Yeah, I mean, you can make MD files. Like, you could have one that describes how to do a thorough security review. And there's a ton of stuff free online. Like, you can just go to GitHub. People are, like, posting in their MD files of how to do security reviews, how to do clean code, how to make React components decoupled in small componentized UIs, that type of stuff. So I do use MD files. When I'm building out a UI feature, I'll drag in, like, a React MD file or a TanStack start MD file. If I'm building out a backend, I'll throw in a security check MD file. Discord is on Electron. Slack is on... Is Slack Electron too? You need to kill the process of Claude Code after you finish. One process of Claude Code takes about 250 megabytes of memory, and the process won't be killed automatically. You have to do that manually. But we're not running Claude Code. I guess that's the thing. We're using an SDK library. Maybe under the hood they're calling Claude Code. So you might be right. Maybe we have to look into that. And I'm also not using Claude Code right now. I'm using Cursor. Seems like it's stabilized around like 2.8 gigabytes though. Okay, I'm going to start fresh. I'm actually going to delete all this stuff. Let's start with a brand new project. And then we're going to go back and just refresh this. Okay, and then we're going to go to the spec editor. I deleted the whole thing, so I have to create a new one. That's a little bug right there. I want to build a DAW similar to Fruity Loops for Ableton. I don't need a database yet. I want to keep this all local. Let's see if this thing works. Oh, that's interesting. It dropped back down to 1.2 gigabytes. Maybe the Kanban board's what's doing it. Is there dev tools for Electron to take memory snapshots? I mean, it's just running the Chrome browser, so you can literally go over here. I think you go to performance and you can take a memory profile and then you can stop. You can zoom in and like compare heap snaps and stuff. There's also a way to do, I forget, memory usage. I have to spend time trying to remind myself how to do this again. It's been a while since I've done this type of stuff. Hope this is still running. It's taking a while to run through that. Okay, it's done. Oh, I think it's making the actual cards right now. Alright, so I went through here and it added... Okay, Zustan, React, drag and drop. Why is it adding this stuff? Okay, it doesn't look like it added a database, which is good. Okay, what is it doing? Alright, it's kind of confused there. Go through the app spec and generate features. Generate 50 features with dependency graphs already set up for this entire app spec. Like, there's no indicator there when I kick that off. Would I be able to use my cursor while Automaker is running? For example, I'm working on a personal project and then I also am working on a job implementing something. Yeah, I mean, they'll both change their same code base. Like, you could point it to your same directory and they'll just modify. It's no different than having like different cursor agents modifying your main branch at the same time. Can I purchase your course as a company? Do you mean like bulk buying? Like you want to buy like 10 seats for all your engineers? I do provide bulk discounts depending on how many seats that you want to buy. Will Automaker support other models like GLM and Composer? We are adding Composer 1 support right now. Like, we're adding in the cursor CLI support. Is Ralph the best way to orchestrate multiple agents without context flooding? I've been trying to use a multi-agent orchestrator to kick off other agents and subtasks, and they tend to hit contextful. I haven't tried Ralph yet, so I'm not really sure. Oh no, right now you'd have to buy it for your personal use. What's the dictation tool I'm using? Super Whisper. Coding with Josh, or code with Josh. What are you making? Working on Automaker. Let's see if I actually made the cards. Okay, so now we have a bunch of cards here, 129 different features here. Can I visualize this graph? There we go. So, I'm going to try kicking off one agent at a time with auto mode and see what happens. All right, so it's building an initial React project right now. Create TypeScript configuration with strict mode, create index. Oh, you know what? I was supposed to be using Composer. I think this is using Claude again, isn't it? That's annoying. Alright, I guess we wait, but I guess I have to manually set these things all to be Composer 1 because it's not saving them for some reason. I'll just do like the first 3. Okay, the first 4. Now that I think about it, having the model displayed here might actually be useful. What is going on with this? Why is the layout messed up? Bond subtask. Verify a playwright test? I don't want it to verify. I think it's too late to change that though. Okay, let me make a to-do list of things because like there's just so many things that are wrong with this project. Setting the default model does not seem like it works. Consolidate all models to a single place in the settings instead of having AI profiles and all this other stuff. Simplify the create feature modal. It should just be one page. I don't need nested tabs and all these nested buttons. It's too complex. Add a to-dos list checkbox directly into the card so as it's going through, if there's any to-do items, we can see those update live. When the feature is done, I want to see a summary of the LLM. That's the first thing I should see when I double-click the card. I want a way to mass edit all my features. For example, when I created a new project, it added auto testing on every single feature card. Now I have to manually go through one by one and change those. I have a way to mass edit those, the configuration of all of them. What other things are broken about this app? Okay, is this using Composer now? Yeah. That finished way too fast. It says it added it. Let's go back over here. What is Dexy? Okay, it added it. Actually, let's just run it right here. I'm going to go here and click run. Welcome to Loop Forge. Your DAW is loading. Okay. Configure ESLint and prettier. Okay, whatever. We can just run that one. Why do we need a React drag and drop library? Okay, is it not saving? I wonder if there's a, I think there's like some file system queuing we have going on, and maybe it's kind of writing a lot of files right now, and that's why it's not updating. Oh yeah, memory leaks. Okay, thank you for that. Double check and debug if there's memory leaks. It seems like the memory of Automaker grows to like 3 gigabytes. Let me check what it is right now. Yeah, it's like 5 gigabytes right now. It's at 5 gigabytes right now, and I'm running 3 different cursor CLI features implementing at the same time. And the other one was, what was the other feedback item? Oh yeah, typing in the text area. Typing in the text area of the plan mode was super laggy. Was it the plan mode though? Let's see. I could go back and check my stream. I think it was the plan mode. Yeah, I don't know why it's laggy. It's not laggy now, so I'm not sure what happened there. It's kind of strange. I feel like if I kick off more tasks, it's gonna crash my stream, honestly. Yeah, I think there's an issue. Okay, here's another bug. When I have a bunch of features running at the same time, it seems like I cannot edit the features in the backlog. Like, they don't persist their file changes, and I think this is because of the secure FS file has an internal queue to prevent hitting that file open write limit. We may have to reconsider refactoring away from file system and do Postgres or SQLite or something. I don't even need Vitess setup in application layout. Let me kick this one off. Yeah, there must be some cursor process that we're holding on to that's causing it to keep creeping up in memory. Is there like a cursor CLI? Cool, I can't do the F6 shortcut. Memory 7.5. Modals are not scroll. Oh yeah, that's a good one. Thank you. Straight up, if my computer drops because I lose memory, I probably won't come back. I'll just end the stream. Well, I think this is some pretty good testing, though. I mean, the whole point of this was to test out a branch to add cursor support. I think the memory leak is the #1 thing we got to figure out. Like, why is it getting up to 7, 8 gigabytes when I have multiple cursor CLI agents running? I'm guessing each CLI tool probably does some type of vectorization over the code base and, like, is storing all your files in memory. And I'm wondering if it's also including, like, the node modules directory, which is causing it to just, like, eat up memory or something. Find /user's name loopforge. Why is it trying to find the directory? It should know where it is. Check current directory. Somehow I was in my loopforge directory, and then all of a sudden it, like, could not find it. Definitely run this from a Docker container. Having these tools just have access to your computer and run bash commands, probably not a really good idea. Yeah, at this point, I don't have, I could probably do that after the stream. Right now, I'm just trying to get a collection of things that are broken with the app, and I've been kind of focusing more on the course and adding features to the course, and then working on that video editor thing. But I think I need to come back and reevaluate some of the stuff we're doing in Automaker, because there's definitely some user experience changes we could add in. Like, I don't think adding in more features is what we should do. I think we need to fix all these random bugs, reevaluate how we're kind of walking the user through this application, because it's kind of confusing. A lot of options. Stuff still gets kind of broken and frozen on people's laptops. Switch to the other page. Maybe Kanban has memory leak. Yeah, it could be. Then add an archive all button here. Like, that could be good. Let me go to in the agent runner, add an archive all button for the new sessions. Let's see. Switched off the Kanban board. We're at 6.5 gigabytes. I really think it's the cursor CLI is eating up all the memory. It'd be interesting to kick off a very similar task in a different terminal. Hmm. Use cursor in new debug mode to find memory leak. Have you looked into beads issue tracking? Also, just files can help point to parts of the code. I have not looked into beads yet. I'm telling you, there's too much tools. I think what we're gonna hit in this industry, there's too much stuff coming out because of AI now that people are just gonna be like sensory overload. You remember how like JavaScript ecosystem had a new framework? It was like framework fatigue. JavaScript fatigue was a real thing. I think we're going to hit AI fatigue where people just stop caring. I think people are going to stop caring about these new tools that come out. And they're just going to be like, whatever. Because Beads came out, and then now he's making Gastown. And there's like a bunch of other tools that basically come out that do the exact same thing. I think honestly, most people are just going to be like zoning out all the latest updates on stuff. Do you mind someone asking what plan are you using for Cursor? I'm using the $20 a month plan. Claude, Opus 4.5 is in that plan. Gemini 3 Pro is in that plan. You have Codex 5.1 is in that plan. GPT 5.2 is in that plan. I don't think 5.2 Codex is in the Cursor. I haven't seen that in the model dropdown. I feel the fatigue already a lot. Yeah. I think you'll only get fatigued with what's going on if you're just like, if you have like FOMO, you know, like you don't want to miss out on something. Like, it's okay. Like, it's fine. You don't need to learn everything. You don't need to be working on 7 projects at the same time. You don't need to be kicking off 7 different agents at the same time trying to implement different pages. It is something you can do if that's part of your workflow and you can do it. But I think a lot of people are just going to be like, you know what? We can't keep up with all this stuff, so we're just going to stop caring. Do you get Claude's Coding 1 Sonnet? What's Coding 1 Sonnet? I mean, Sonnet 4.5 is in there, I believe. Yeah, that's why I just stick to the same tools I've been using on my channel. Cursor and Claude Code, right? You have Klein, you have Codex. Actually, I did sign up for Codex. I wanted to play around with it. Warp Terminal. Droid. Like, literally every month there's a new tool. And it's just going to be very hard to convince people to try these new tools when they've been so fatigued of all the stuff that's coming out. Like, I feel like becoming a good marketer and trying to convince devs to use your tool, that's going to be a very valuable skill. Because no one's going to want to try your tool when it's like, okay, another AI tool, who cares, right? Also, if I kicked off some tasks in Automaker while closing at Command Q, will those tasks? Oh, if you close Automaker, like the whole thing, I do believe it'll kill those tasks that are running. Like, there's no like background process, I don't think. They're all under the same top level process. But that's something good we should check. Maybe we can check after the Vitest stuff is done, because right now I'm at like 7 gigs. If I close Automaker, I'd expect all this stuff to drop back down. And I can kick off audio effects right before it. I'm using OpenCode by far the most. Works good enough. Yeah, I wanted to download that and try it out. I know their whole team makes some pretty good stuff. The only reason I pick OpenCode is because it has access to all these different models. That's the one thing I don't like about Claude Code, is that you're locked into Opus 4.5. And there's other models out there that do better jobs at different problems. So I think... And I think also the developer experience of Claude Code, it could use some improvements. It just feels not that great. Cody, do you have an ergonomic chair? I do not. I have... A secret lab chair. Do not recommend. This chair is not nice. It's expensive, but it's not good to sit in. I'd rather go buy like a $300 or $200 ergonomic chair. Yeah, there's Oh My Open Code now. Justifies are worth looking into if you find Claude. Searching for the background or where X features live, etc. Can you just back in, etc.? It makes it much quicker. Sorry, I meant kill those tasks, not to will. I think it kills those tasks. Open code is not great. Okay. But you can change the model in Claude Code real easily. What do you mean you can change the model real easily? Yeah, there's only 3 models in Claude Code. If you want to switch it to like GLM, that's not easy. You have to go and like set environment variables. That's a terrible user experience. Open code, at least you can make a, like, you know, do a /models and actually select third-party models. I don't think Claude Code is doing themselves any favors by not supporting other models. Dang, it's taking a long time to implement this. I probably didn't use Composer, did I? Nope, still using Claude Code. Yes, use all the memory on my machine, come on. Cody, I struggled to begin Greenfield and Automaker. Trying to sit on a yoga ball. Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of bugs in Automaker. I'm not gonna lie. This app is just It's just buggy. And it's not because of Agentic Coding. It's just because like I work on this every once in a while. I'll kick off some prompts. I'll go in and check it. And we never actually came back and like fixed some of the stuff. We just kept on like shipping more and more features. And then I think we've hit a point where it's like, okay, we need to stop adding features and like make this thing solid. Because adding more features to an unsolid base is just not helping. And I think we're also supporting too much. Like, it's a small team. And I think we're trying to add in support for like Electron, for web app, for Docker. It's just too much, in my opinion. Will there be more streams like this? Yeah, I do streams every once in a while. Usually it's every like once a weekend. It's because of Agentic Coding. It's not, I'm telling you. It could be because of Electron. I think the best way to debug that is I need to run it in web mode to verify if it's Electron related or if it's the web API, because everything that we run, all the models run off of a web API, right? And so isolating the bug down to like, is it just the API holding on the stuff? I'm gonna stop this before it uses up all the memory on my machine. I'm literally just gonna close this thing out. Okay. And we can do the same thing. I'm gonna run this. No, not that. I'm gonna run this in web mode real quick. Oh no, I can't because I don't know if he back merged. Did he not back merge staging yet? Okay, so now we can open up, let's open up that project. It was called something loop, what do I call it? Loop Forge. Like even this user experience, the fact that I can't type L and find Loop Forge, it's just like rough. Bro, where did I put that project? Workspace Loop Forge. There we go. Okay, so now we're actually going to test out, like, what is the issue? Where is the memory leak coming from? Let's go ahead and kick off the Vitest testing again. Because this one's still using Claude code, so I mean, like... Alright, let's just kick off a bunch of these things. I think there's also an issue with the locking. All these are locked. But when I save one, the lock goes away. Investigate a potential issue with the feature cards not refreshing. I see a lock icon on the feature card, but it doesn't go away until I open the card and edit it and I turn the testing mode off. I think there's like a refresh sync issue. Anyway, let's just make all these. And like, where did these quick profiles come from? Codex and Codex Power? Like those, I didn't even add those to my prompt. I think it's because these are actually different AI profiles now. Alright, let's just kick off 4 different tasks and see if we get a memory leak. I use cursor and Claude code. By the way, why'd you put Ben Awad's video in your last video? That video is funny. Do you think he's not joking? I think he's being serious, honestly. Every engineer I've met who's been in the industry for like 15 years, some have been in the industry for 20 years, everyone I work with, like a lot of people are all in on using like these new tools. And so I know Ben Awad's very sarcastic, so it's hard to tell if he's telling the truth or not. But yeah, I mean, I think he's probably using Codex. I think he's literally probably prompting these AI tools to write features for his game. I think I missed your previous question. Regarding app shortcuts, how is that handled when typing in the input field, for example? I think I just disable like event propagation. I believe. So like when you type into the input box, you can just override the on change and then like do e.prevent default or e.stop propagation, and so it won't bubble that up to the other listeners that are listening to the keyboard events. Do I understand correctly that Automaker could replace Cursor in someone's workflow? If yes, then are you going to switch when Automaker is going to be finished? I think it could potentially replace someone's workflow. I mean, if you see all these AI tools, like for example, Cursor came out with the agent panel. I think most people are starting to realize that like you don't even need to have the code editor browser open. If these models get good enough, it's literally going to be you sending off prompts and then just reviewing the code that the agent changed and then giving refinements to that agent to go and fix stuff. Like, I think the tree browser might become less important. And so like that's why they have this new like agents view. There's other tools out there that give you a higher level view. It's more of like a project management view and not the actual like code editor view. I mainly use the code editor view because that's what I'm used to. I've been doing this for years now, and so it's hard for me to switch to a new workflow. And I also sometimes do want to load up the files because, like I said, the models aren't 100% perfect. So sometimes you want to dive into the code and try to figure out like how does something work. But yeah, Automaker is just for me to like, I can quickly switch to any of my little side projects and kick off a little bug fix without me having to go and load up VS Code or Cursor and then load the project. It looks like the memory has not crept up. Oh, actually, no, this looks like 2.48 gigabytes. So it looks like there might be a React-related memory leak. Because the API, the thing that's running the Cursor CLI and Cloud Code CLI, like that would be showing up in one of these things. But it's not. So I think we gotta go through and figure out how to like not hold on to so much stuff inside the browser. High memory usage, 2.5 gigabytes. I bet you if I kept on kicking off things, it would keep creeping up. I will say it's creeping up much slower than it was on Electron. $20,000 additions. Probably this. This is a lot of stuff. And it's super laggy too when you have this thing fully expanded. Like this is... Probably need to add some type of virtualization to this. I wonder if I clear all these if it'll go away. Ooh, now we're at 6 gigabytes. Yeah, so it's definitely in the React. It's in the React UI. There's stuff that we're holding on to, and it may honestly be, I have a hunch it's these git diff changes. This is a lot of components, and inside each component, there's a decent amount of text. Other than that, I mean, I don't know what else could be causing it to eat up so much memory, but I also don't think that text would use that much memory. Like this raw output, like this is probably like a couple kilobytes. All these logs. Maybe. But I would also think that this shouldn't even like take up memory unless you have the modal open. So probably somewhere else we're like holding on the stuff. Although this still says 2.5. My activity monitor says 6. Okay, we're going to take a snapshot and we're going to wait a little bit. Take another snapshot. No? Okay. Oh, it's still trying to do stuff. Okay. I'm pretty sure there's a way to like compare two different snapshots, right? It's been a hot minute since they've even had to do this stuff. Performance measures. Okay. Anyway, I'm getting tired. Can I ask what your ratio with coding is? Are you 100% just Agentic Coding, or are you still code now and then? On my side projects, I'm basically all in on Agentic Coding. At work, I do some manual coding once in a while, but like sometimes I'll kick off an Opus prompt and it'll knock out a whole story in one prompt. And then I'll have to come through and review the code and maybe kick off a couple of refinements, but yeah, I mean, it's getting much better. You think you should have used something like Tari instead of Electron. Yeah, I mean, there's always a possibility to switch over to it. The issue is that with Agent, you are more on the implementation side really fast. The debug field testing is on the second priority. Yeah. I mean, it is with Agent really leading you to bug pull. If you just iterate and not test and look at code, why would you recommend a workflow? What would you recommend as a workflow for the industry? I mean, if you're like on a legit project, you should be doing test-driven development with these agents, honestly. And you should have a QA team reviewing the code that you're pushing. And you yourself should be very thorough with like checking all the code. You can still ship, like even before Agentic Coding, if you're not thoroughly testing your stuff and thinking about edge cases and thinking like an actual like QA person, you're still going to ship bugs, right? It's just that now we can ship a lot more features and there's a lot more code changes. And if you don't truly understand what's changing in the code, you won't know what edge cases you should be kind of checking for. But yeah, I think right now the main thing we got to look into is why the Chrome browser, Google Chrome renderer keeps creeping up. So I think I'm going to end the stream. That's going to be my #1 priority. Maybe I'll make a video on it when I figure it out, because I know I will figure it out. Either through using these LLMs or just kind of using a heap snapshot and trying to see what's growing in terms of memory. And then we can try to pinpoint what page and what React component is causing this memory issue. And then I think our app will be in a much better spot. But I'm tired, so I'm going to go ahead and just stop the stream. Thank you guys for joining. I'll keep you guys updated on what I figure out. I think it'd be a cool video. Do you see the point in developing? Do you see a point in developers looking to land roles still learning via project-based learning, or is it futile and developers should just go all out in learning, work with AI? I mean, I would say like if you watch my workflow right now, AI will not fully help you with everything, right? There's a ton of stuff that you're still going to have to learn how to do. Like, do you even know what a heap snapshot is? You know how to do a comparison between those to find memory leaks? Do you know the right places to look? Like, are you good at your computer and finding tools to do performance analysis on your web page? Like, I think agents can just help you ship code and debug faster, but like they're not going to replace jobs. I think someone using these tools and becoming very good at them could potentially, they'd probably be more valuable than someone else. But you still have to know the fundamentals. You still have to know data structures, algorithms, how to debug. And those will not really, like an LLM will not help you with that. They can help teach you that. And I think you could get up to speed much faster now in 2026 than you could maybe 10 years ago. Back then, if you want to learn the code, you have to go find like random Stack Overflows. You have to go buy books and read them. Half the stuff is in this books is just filler. It's pointless stuff you're reading, but they just add it into the book so they have content, so they can sell you a stack of pages, right? But now you have like this tool that can give you the exact information you need to learn. And I think that can really expedite your learning process. So I always say don't get discouraged. Even watching me code right now, it's like I have to figure out what the prompt to fix these various bugs. And now I have like all this stuff reviewing, like even the user experience. The LLM can give you suggestions, but until you actually start building out the features and you use the application, you start realizing like really strange user experiences that you have to go back and redesign and fix. And so even though we can ship code super fast now, it doesn't really matter if the features you're adding in are not good, right? So I would say don't get discouraged. Like there's still a lot of stuff in this industry that is going to stick around. Maybe writing the code isn't as important and it's more of like a commodity, but all the stuff surrounding writing the code and getting it deployed out there and monitoring it and debugging it, like that stuff, I think it's still super vital to learn that stuff. So don't be discouraged if you feel like AI is replacing your job. I don't think it is. It's just augmenting the way we work. And everyone right now is like, I feel like we all just been thrown into the pool and we don't know how to swim, right? And so we're trying to figure out how to swim with these new tools. Some are finding them useful. Some are finding them not useful. I do think there is value in learning these tools. And I've been using them every day at my work and also my side projects. And I feel like I'm able to go faster. Yeah, like all the features in this application, I think we're at like 100,000 lines of code. And I know this app is a little bit buggy and it needs to be improved, but shipping this much code with a small team, like you're going to see this a lot more now than you did in the past, where like one developer could literally ship an entire project that has like 300,000 lines of code. Where before at work, I'm on a project that's 500,000 lines of code and it took us 7 years to get there without AI. 7 years of writing code, writing user stories, implementing those, getting them tested, getting them deployed out. It took a very long time doing it the old manual way. And now we're just able to kind of like blow through writing code. Yeah, I don't know if that helps you at all, but I do think there is still a point. Like, things are just kind of changing a little bit. All right, that's about it. Hope you guys enjoyed the stream. I'm going to try to stream next weekend as well, and hopefully I can get Automaker in a better state. I'm kind of disappointed with how buggy it is. But I want to get it to that point where it's like actually good to use.